All right, welcome everyone to today's webinar. Once again, sorry for the technical difficulties we had before. I see everyone able to make it still with a half-hour time difference. And we're going to begin. We're going to get right to it. Today's webinar is going to be on the latest in vehicle safety solutions. It is the first webinar of 2019. Season 3, it's the third year that we're doing these webinars, and it's the first one, episode 1, the first webinar of this year. First item that we want to speak about is the Advanced Blind Spot Sensor System, the RVS-128. So, microwave technology, easy installation, mounts right to the side of the vehicle, massive detection range, 82 feet, and the advantage to that is that it can be used on really any vehicle. So it can be used on big vehicles like RVs, trucks, even semi-trailers. If you mount it on the track, not the trailer, you'll be able to still have a sensing area that will extend to the entire side of the trailer itself. So really can be used for all vehicles, and something that we're very excited about. The alerts for the system, they work like a regular blind spot sensing system. So you'll have, if you see here on this slide, there's two little buttons. They mount in the A-pillar on each side of the driver and passenger in the front of the vehicle. The A-pillar is the kind of side pillar that runs from the top of the vehicle, like the headliner, down to the dash on each side. And so in that pillar, in the inside of the vehicle, you mount these little buttons, and they light up when a object is detected by the sensor. So as soon as something comes into the detection area, that'll light up and tell you something's there. It also comes with an audio alert when your turn signal is on and there's something detected in your detection area. The button will light up, and it'll also provide an audible warning. It'll give you like a little beeping to make sure that you don't actually turn. You're showing intent that you want to turn. There's something in your obstacle. There's something in your blind spot. So it'll beep as well to make sure that you actually don't make that turn. Okay, I see a question in the question and answer tab at the top. Is the sensor paintable? Jeff asked. Actually, a really good question. I'm not too sure offhand. I'll definitely look into that and get back to you. In general, there will be some things that I won't necessarily have the answer to. You can just email me directly, James G at Review Safety. I'll speak to our engineers and get the answer to you, or we'll reply at the end of the webinar to the answers properly. So I included a little graphic here to kind of highlight the difference. So the left side here is going to be the competitors' blind spot systems. The way they usually work is they're mounted in the rear corner of the vehicle. And they usually detect a area to the side of the vehicle, but mainly behind the vehicle. So as you see there, if a motorcycle is more in the front of the vehicle, still on the side, often that won't get detected by a regular blind spot sensor system. Our system, as you see on the right side, the sensors actually mount in the front of the vehicle. And because of the massive range, that's why they're able to mount there and still get the entire side of the vehicle. Also, extended out past the rear of the vehicle on each side. So it will get, in that circumstance, the motorcycle, it will be sensed, and you will get alerted from that obstacle in your blind spot. Any other questions on that system? How big is it? Great question. It's about the size of a mouse. It actually looks very similar to a computer mouse, and that's pretty much the size of it. So that's the size of the sensors themselves. And then the buttons that go in the A-pillars, they're about just a little under an inch in diameter. How is it powered? Great question. Like most of our systems, the sensors run to like an ECU, like a control box, and then the buttons also, basically everything runs to the same ECU box, and then that runs to 12-volt power to power up. There's a trigger wire for the audio, so you connect the trigger wire to your turn signal, and that way when your turn signal is activated, it will, and there's something detected, that's when the audio will power up, that's when the audio alert will be heard. Any other questions on this system before we move along? Cool. All right, next item on our list. Like someone asked right at the beginning of the webinar about the driver fatigue system. So this is the new and updated driver fatigue system that we released about a week ago. It's the iVue 335. And it works basically the same way as a regular driver fatigue system. For those of you who are unfamiliar, it's like a little camera-looking device that you mount on the dash of the vehicle, and this one faces the driver. So it looks a bit like a dash camera, but instead of facing out the windshield, faces the opposite direction at the face of the driver. And it actually has a camera that looks at the driver's eyes and detects drowsiness based on, the pupils and the eyelids closing, and it recognizes when the driver is paying attention to the road or is dozing off, becoming drowsy, or even looking away from the front of the vehicle. And when it notices that, it alerts the driver with a beeping noise to make sure that the driver never falls asleep. Really important device, especially for truckers, people that are doing long drives, people that are prone to falling asleep. Another webinar that we actually did in the past was all about drowsy driving, and it's surprising how just often it occurs and how many people die from this each year. It's really pretty crazy. So the driver fatigue systems is something that we always push. Another great thing about it is that it installs in literally a minute. It comes with a cigarette lighter plug, so you just mount this to the dash, face it towards the driver, plug in the cigarette lighter plug, and you're good to go. There's no calibration. There's really basically no installation at all. Also works during the day and night. All lighting conditions, it'll work well. And even if the driver is wearing glasses, it'll still be able to detect drowsiness. The main difference between this and the previous version is that this one has a longer working distance than the RVS 330, which was the previous driver fatigue system. That's actually discontinued now. So you can use this even on like buses and trucks where you have sometimes even a number of feet between the driver and the windshield. This will still work. It'll still detect drowsiness even in that case. We also introduced together with this question, Jesse has a question, is it compatible with MobileMule like the old 350? That is a great question. There is compatibility with the MobileMule. It actually has an RCA out. I'm not too familiar with the details of how it works because I believe the camera is actually a pretty close cropped camera, so you're only going to really see the eyes or like very close up shot of the driver. So it's not really ideal for capturing like driver activity, let's say, but it does have an RCA out that you can connect to the MobileMule DVRs. Accessories. So we have a couple new accessories that we introduced together with this model. We have a GPS module, so you can connect it to a GPS that will detect when the vehicle is moving, basically. So if the vehicle is not moving, if you're idling, let's say you want to take a power nap in your car at the side of the road, or any other kind of situation like that where it's okay to be sleeping, you're not moving, the system will automatically note that and won't detect you when it's not moving. Another advantage or another feature of the GPS module is that when the vehicle is going quickly, so when the vehicle is moving at high speed, the sensitivity will increase together with the speed of the vehicle. So basically when it's going really quick, it's going to become more sensitive and alert you more often from the slightest distraction or drowsiness. It says great for people that have narcolepsy. Absolutely. Another accessory that we introduced together with this is a vibration cushion, and this places underneath the driver's seat and then connects to the system. And whenever the alarm activates, basically whenever it detects any distracted driving or drowsy driving, it'll actually vibrate. So it's just like an added kind of wake-up call for the driver to make sure that they don't fall asleep, they're not being distracted, they're driving as they should be. Any questions here? All right, moving right along. We also introduced recently, about a month ago, we introduced the 8117, the newest addition to our MobileMule mobile DVR series. This is a monster DVR. It's a 17-channel DVR. So it comes with 16 regular ports. You can connect 16 kind of regular quality or AHD cameras. And then it has one IP camera port to connect an IP camera. Military-grade vibration and shock rating, so it can really go through anything. Because of the number of channels that it can hold, it has, instead of one hard drive port, it has two hard drives that it can hold, each one up to 1 terabyte. So it has a total recording capacity of 2 terabytes. It also has backup recording onto SD cards. So if the hard drives ever fail for some reason, it will always capture the recording on the SD cards. Basically, it will always ensure that the footage is being captured. It comes with GPS tracking, so you'll be able to see with the video footage, you'll be able to see where the vehicle was, how quick it was going, etc. It also has live remote viewing, like a number of our mobile mules have. So that means you can access the mobile mule, you can access the DVR remotely, meaning that a fleet manager, for example, can log in and view where his vehicle is even while it's on the road, see footage live from the vehicle, download footage, a whole bunch of really cool features that come really in handy, especially for fleets. Another thing that we wanted to announce, we partnered recently with Teltic, which is a service provider, and that we now offer a free T-Mobile SIM card that comes together with the system. And then we have kind of tailored service options from Teltic that you can use for your 4G connection. So really good pricing, really good options there, depending on the size of your fleet, how much service you need. There's a specific landing page. It's ivs.teltic.com, where you can see all the options and kind of, get the DVR with the SIM card, and you'll have service options that we provide, all in one. Some additional features of the DVR. So as you can see from these pictures, it's a really rugged and robust actual hardware. It's actually waterproof, so it's an IP67 rating. It can actually be mounted even outside or in like a vehicle that's not, weather protected. You can still mount this system and record all cameras. These are kind of features listed here that are pretty regular with our MobileMule series in general. So the recording is going to be secure. You're not going to be able to access it from the, from the actual device, neither from the software. It'll be password protected. Backup recording, like we mentioned. Loop recording. So when the hard drive is full, when the footage is basically has reached the limit, instead of having to replace the hard drive, it'll just loop over and start recording over the oldest recording. So you'll always have the most recent recording. In this case, you'll always have 2 terabytes of recorded footage. Event recording, alarm inputs. So if you want to trigger a certain event, for example, a bus door opening, you'll be able to do that with the trigger system. And then you can set alarms and alerts so that you can get an email alert whenever a certain alarm is triggered. So really robust, really powerful system. Question here, what type of vehicle is this for? Great question. 17 channels, really designed for buses, maybe a coach bus or a school bus where you want to record, let's say the driver, the door of the vehicle, the back door of the vehicle, the seats, all sides outside the vehicle. You wanted like a whole lot of things recorded. This is what this DVR is made for. Also maybe a boat, something like a yacht or a cruise ship even. Have a lot of cameras connected, have a lot of cameras in all areas of the boat. You can use this one DVR, for it. Any other questions on this DVR system? Okay, moving right along. This is actually the last item on our list of newly released items. It's actually a accessory for the MobileMule series. So in connection to the previous item, this is an audio pickup for our DVRs. So basically, it allows you to add audio to any camera. So if you have a camera, for example, a dome camera that doesn't have a built-in mic, so if you have a dome camera facing the driver on a bus, but you also want to record audio from the driver or, what the driver says to customers, you'll be able to attach this audio pickup to the camera, and then it runs the same cable to connect to the DVR. So it actually has a wire adapter. One end connects to the audio pickup, one end to the camera, and then the other connection will just run to the camera cable like regular. You can go into a DVR so you can record audio together with video, when a camera doesn't have it. It also enhances audio, so it's a really good quality audio pickup. And that means that if you're not happy with the built-in mic on a camera, you can connect this guy and get a better audio recorded on your DVR. Any questions so far before we move along on any other products? These are basically, we came out with these products all within the past month or two. And yeah, we're really excited about all of them. That's not the audio device. It's out of the Aaron, I love that. No, it was not. Um, to finish off the webinar, just want to speak quickly about the brand unification. So we recently, as far as a lot of you probably are aware already, we recently unified the RVS Systems and Rearview Safety brands. Basically, this is relevant for dealers mainly. The RVS Systems brand was what we used for dealers, where it had a different branding and model numbers for them. We unified everything under the Rearview Safety family and brand, or RVS. We also recently launched a new logo, which you see right there on the screen. You've probably seen it online and hopefully everywhere. And all dealer activity now is done through rearviewsafety.com. So basically all retail, dealer, fleet activity, all under the same www.rearviewsafety.com website. And made it easier for us, for our customers, kind of just a better, more streamlined process all around. Let me know what you think of this new logo. We're pretty happy with it. Would love to hear what you guys think. And yeah, that's the basically unification of Rearview Safety. Okay, so that was all I had scheduled for today. I went through it a little quickly just because we had those issues and we started so late. But if you have any questions in general, any brand or product related questions, I'll be happy to stay on the line. I'll be on the line for another couple of minutes to answer any question that you have. And again, thank you all for joining. Sorry about the issues there in the beginning. Patrick has a question here. Where should an RV rear camera point? Good question. So most of the time, the backup camera on an RV points down far enough down that you see the rear bumper on the vehicle. That's for the most part what people like. There are times when people like to see a more like out back towards traffic view. What we often suggest in that case is you can actually do two cameras, point one out like kind of more straight to see traffic behind you, and then one further down to see like the hitch and the rear bumper. But for the most part, people want to see the space right behind the bumper to make sure they're not going to hit anything. So that's where people point the rear camera. Aaron has a question here. On the blind spot sensor, does the beep with turn signal activation correspond to the side? No. So there's actually just one speaker that it comes with, and when any turn signal is activated, as long as the sensor senses something in that. So maybe I got that question wrong. Yeah, it will. If the left turn signal is on and it senses something in the left side, on the left side of the vehicle, that's when the audio will go on. Same thing with the right side. So it will correspond to the side, but there's not two separate speakers. It's going to be the same, kind of beep. Les has a question here. How many RVS cameras have built-in audio? Good question. A lot of our commercial cameras do have built-in audio. So if you're familiar with our model numbers, we have the 770. We have the, see if I can remember off the top of my head. The 770 has built-in audio. I'm not doing so well. What else has built-in audio? The heated camera has a built-in audio. Some of our wireless cameras have built-in audio. There's a number of cameras that have a built-in mic, and most of our monitors have speakers. But if you want to improve that audio, and if you want to, add it to a camera that doesn't have audio, often the dome cameras, you'll be able to do that. All right. Any more last-minute questions? I'll be happy to help you. Looks like we're all set. All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming once again. We will see you next time in 2 months for webinar number 2 of 2019. Take care. Enjoy your day.